General.
Hmm?
General.
Hmm?
General.
General! Maybe movies. Is it safe? Sorry, is it secret? Is it safe? Any excuse. Welcome back to two very, very, very old men who have reached a certain milestone.
Triple digits.
Yes, I think somebody may have mentioned something about having a letter from the Queen.
Yes, indeed. Well, we can but hope.
Just send it to the delirium; it'll get here eventually.
Eventually.
Yes, I'm surprised we haven't found any odd socks.
It had crossed my mind to wonder if that's where they all go.
Let's hope not, because then we just get an avalanche. Because, oh God!
It's like what counts as weather in here? It just rains socks.
Oh yes. As long as they're clean, because they have been come from the washing machine, so they should be fine. Hello, welcome back to Maybe Movies. Ow, excuse me. I am still Max.
I am still Sam.
Ow, and welcome to our 100th episode. Cramp is complimentary.
Every time, man.
I know. We are about to launch into Act 3 of Maximus the Glad, which I think after Act 2, I think we've actually injected some amount of energy back into this.
We've actually been contributing to this one.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And obviously at the end of the episode, we'll be casting our votes for which of our two new theoretical movies should be crowned Maybe Movie for April 2022. After that, it will be over to you guys to vote on our poll, which you can find on our Twitter account, and also if you are a patron, you can find it on our Patreon page as well. The poll will be running through for another few days, yeah.
Okay, yep.
Because, as I mentioned on Wednesday, with April being 5 weeks, and we do all of this within a 4-week time frame, so there'll be no Maybe Movies next week. There should be something on the channel. I think there's movies actually. No, that went out this week, didn't it? I think I'll be in another part of the delirium that's not here, talking about books at some point next week. Very quick shout out as well for another new subscriber.
Oh, yay.
Called Herman the Great.
That's an awesome name.
It is, yes. Herman does a variety of things, whether he does like chats, random vlogs, as he puts on his description, and also what I thought was really cool, chill streams.
Oh, okay, cool, awesome.
So, thank you, Herman.
Thank you.
We are up to... so Drogo is dead, the henchmen are dead, everyone's dead.
Yeah.
So we're back at the convent with the sister begging them to trust Voltan.
Yeah.
And that's the point again, so that will be the next one. Do we still want Gort to be the one to suggest that they do that night raid on them, or do we want to give that to Maximus, or do we want to keep it as Gort, and what do we think that Maximus would think about it from an honour point of view? Try saying that in one breath.
Well, he's a soldier. He's a Roman soldier. They tend to do things by unit tactics and meeting on the battlefield. Did they do that?
I don't know enough about Roman history to know. I need to watch more.
They would raid. They did used to raid, because I know used to go up north and they'd cross the border and they'd send people over to raid. I don't know if they were nighttime raids or not. I don't think it's entirely inconceivable that and also massively outnumbered from a tactical point of view.
It does make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, I think it should be Maximus's idea.
You do?
Yes.
Fair enough.
Just because we need to give him that agency, and he's the character in that situation who's going to think of those things.
So what about we say, he says to Gort, do you remember what we did in X, Y, and Z?
Mm.
So at least he's included in the process.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, that's a nice little touch.
We say somewhere we've got one, maybe two supporting cannon fodder left. Should we say they leave them to guard the convent while the actual heroes go and do the work? So at least they're not leaving the nuns unguarded?
Yes.
Because that means we've still got them then for the end.
Yes, yeah, because otherwise they'd probably end up getting killed in the raid, wouldn't they? Yeah, of course. Yeah, that makes sense. And also allows the troop to actually shine as...
Exactly.
As that's their first scene fighting together, isn't it?
Do you see anything being really different about this?
With the woman's help, they've got a massive advantage in this situation. I can't imagine it being much different.
The only thing I thought possibly is we could allow Maximus to ride into battle.
Of course, yes.
He seems to do well on horseback, so... and it's even better with the Mullen sword because he can throw it and then summon it back and start hitting
exactly. And the idea of a horse coming out of that mist or that smoke or whatever, like, of course that's going to terrify Voltane's men,
I suppose then we do need to address, do we want to, I don't know about fix or do it any differently where we get burst into the tent. Oh dear, I'm not going to do anything, I'm going to go now.
You see, I don't know, I kind of like that because the implication is that's the first time they've met since Voltaire killed his missus. It'd be a wasted opportunity not to have one of Max's wonderful little speeches.
Yes, I think that would get more out of that scene rather than it's just the two of them. I'm going to stab her. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that will add that little extra element in. So you've got
some sort of confrontation, but just be a verbal one rather than a physical one, I think. Because, time isn't on their side.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I did wonder, I was going to say something about it last time and I forgot. I did wonder if we could kind of, again, ramp up the threat level a bit by giving Voltan some more men, but obviously within the constraints of the film itself, there are no actually more men. It's just a camera that's been set up with loads of men running past and running in a circle. Just so it looks like there's more troops than there actually are.
Yeah.
But even saying that, I mean, that bit at the end when they come to the convent after they've captured them, there's quite a few bodies in there.
Mm. Yeah.
And this is the ball I was saying before about just lots of standing around. They go back and they just stand around in the convent. I suppose in this case it will be a lot more, what are you doing? And he'll be giving orders to people to,
To try and prepare for the fight. But then we've got Sister Monica slipping away to have a word with Voltan.
Yeah, I think, again, we could throw something in there as well where she has to get past probably one of the security. Security.
Oh, of course, yes.
Yeah, who's on duty and she has to kind of talk her way round him.
Yeah, just give it a little more tension.
Yeah,
I agree, yeah.
And then we get ambushed, which, I like the fact that Voltan makes a joke of that. He's a giant, his constitution should be good enough to take...
Oh, yeah, he just went out.
Yeah, just completely.
You rolled a nat 1 on that constitution save, didn't you? That was definitely a nat 1.
Do we reckon then that we should lose our security here? That they take them out, like if they're waiting outside, or do you think they would have been drugged as well?
No, I feel like Voltan would just kill them.
Yeah, I agree, unfortunately. They're not...
And it's great, because it gives a little extra layer to his horribleness to play out into the scene,
It does.
Mercilessly murdering a couple more people.
Yeah. I mean, if we wanted to, we could have him keep one of them alive. And when he brings in, they bring in the brazier with the poker.
Uh-huh.
This is what I'm going to do to you. And drives it through the eye of one of the...
Yeah, that's a nice touch.
Which again just makes it even worse for Maximus because they wouldn't have been there if they hadn't listened to him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
lovely.
So yes, we've got Voltan's general gloating, and they're tied up. There's not a lot they can do. Balden's probably going to get stabbed.
I can't see that bit going any differently, really.
And then, of course, the woman turns up and
silly string.
And the silly string. Oh yeah, the silly string. Yeah, it's just blatantly green silly string being sped up, sprayed at somebody. Hilarious.
Oh dear, I have to make that as a spell now. So they get away.
Balden passes.
Yep. And then it's back for the final fight. Again, unfortunately, a lot of this is going to run on rails. I don't really see how... There's not really much that we can change. Again, we can ramp up the degree of violence in the actual fighting itself, but the sequences themselves are still going to happen.
Exactly, yeah.
Maybe we want to do something with, in that final fight between Maximus and Voltan. If you look, Gort's just stood in the background not doing anything. Literally just stood there going...
Oh, right.
So we could at least have him in our version going and getting the nuns off, because they're still stood up on the table with the nooses around their necks.
Oh, right, yeah, of course.
or even going to make sure that Crow's okay, because, you know, he's just sat there against the pillar.
No, you're right. I hadn't noticed that, but yeah, no, that's a good point. Just give him a little bit more agency.
Yeah.
Agency is the word for this movie, isn't it?
Yes, as it was, lack of it was for the last one.
Yeah.
Maybe Movies, episode 100, The Quest for Agency. Again, is there anything else that you'd want to add or change? I can't really think of anything. I mean, obviously we get a slightly different fight between the two of them because he's got his short sword and he's a lot more technically skilled.
So different fighting styles, but yes, it's the actual events of the sequence. I don't feel like they're going to change over much.
Which is why I got next to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from how does a servant of evil enter a convent?
Oh, right, yeah.
Like it's not like, I mean, Voltan, yes, he is an agent of evil, but he's still human. He has free will.
Yeah.
But this thing is quite clearly demonic in nature.
Oh, the thing that turns to resurrect him. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a bit of a questionable one.
Oh, I suppose, though, if it's evil enough.
It could just overcome
the
holy aura.
But I don't see anything else. I mean, I must admit, it was only over the past couple of watches, because I always thought Crow died. I never noticed him just stood in the background there with his arm in a sling.
Yeah, I think in the first few times I watched it, I always thought Crow died as well.
Mm.
Because you see him slumped at the end of the battle on the ground, and it looks like he's died. You know, it does look like he's died.
But yeah, so we don't really get anything different. I suppose they go off, they visit the abbot, they take the cash back to him.
Of course, yeah.
Then they run into the witch, and they go south.
Yep, south it is. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to add to it.
No.
At this point, there really isn't a lot to be said. Wow. So we're here at the end.
We are here at the end, and we're on equal pegging.
Oh yes, we are, yes.
I don't mind going first.
Yep, no, you go ahead.
It's really hard, because part of me wants to go, actually, I don't know if I can vote for either of them, because I don't really feel like we've done a lot on either of them.
I know what you mean.
But I suppose we have to, because...
Yeah, at some point we have to decide.
Well, for me, anyway, it's always going to really come down to... it'll have to be Maximus the Glad, because... we've actually got a character with personality that we've allowed to have the agency that he was denied in his original film.
Yes.
And it's this kind of slightly strange early 80s fantasy western with a prog rock soundtrack.
Yeah.
Into which we've thrown a Roman gladiator.
It's all a bit weird, yeah.
There's some wonderfully strange elements there that would work just as well in the same way that the original film is a bit odd, but it works.
Yes.
You know, it shouldn't do, but it does.
But yeah, it does work.
Whereas again, you've got all of the opulence and all of the stuff that you've got from DreamWorks of that thrown at a gladiator, and yet you've got as railroaded a story as you can get.
Yeah.
In which we've put a character that has no personality.
I have to agree. I mean, we just weren't able to bring anything to the table with Slayer the movie.
No.
Just wasn't happening. So my vote's going to have to be for Maximus the Glad as well.
Okay, so there you have it. We are of one mind again for this month. So it's 2 votes for Maximus the Glad at the moment. Now it's over to you guys. So please get back watching over the episodes over the month, have a think, and cast your votes on either our Twitter page or on our Patreon if you are one of our patrons. And at the beginning of next month, in the pitch meeting, we will announce this month's winner. As I said, we are not going to be here next week, so please have a wonderful, wonderful week off. Do come back and check on the channel, because there will be some stuff going out on here, just not maybe movies. And we will see you on the 6th of May. Until then, take great care of yourselves and each other.
As always, guys, TTFN.
Ba 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 ba.